Hi everyone! So today for our third lower school science video, we're going to be talking about observations and inferences. So remember, as scientists, it is our job to make observations, ask questions, and test out our ideas with experiments. So today we're going to go ahead and start out with observations as botanists and maybe also zoologists later on. So I hope you're excited. Okay, so here you can see that we've collected 3 different types of flowers that we're going to be looking at and making some observations today. If we pause to think for a minute what an observation is, do you remember what we talked about in science class? So remember, an observation is what you are able to figure out using your 5 senses. So what you're able to observe, see, hear, touch, smell, or taste directly. So as we look at these 3 flowers here, we have flower 1, the purple flower, flower 2, the orange flower, and flower 3, the white flower. What observations can we make? So for sight, maybe we'll start with that. We could see that our purple flower has actually different little yellow pieces at the top. And it has 1, 2, 3 petals and very long green leaves. Okay? If we look at our orange flower, we can see that it's orange but also a little bit red and yellow. In the middle, the pieces are very tall and they have yellow and black tips at the top that look like they have some powder on them. And if we look at our white flower, we see that it has many different pieces and it's almost like a big circle. So it's a very different shape than this orange flower, right? If we do smell, we try to smell them. Now remember, smell is a little bit hard with observation because sometimes an observation has to be a fact, not an opinion. But smell can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So it's okay to go ahead as 7th and 8th grade scientists with our best guess for how something smells. If you actually wanted to confirm it as a fact, you would maybe have to have many people test it out, okay? So if we smell this one, it's a little bit difficult. It almost smells like a cloud. I don't know. And if we smell this one, oh, it has a very sweet smell. And this one, also a very sweet, almost like powdery smell. So here we've done see, smell, we do touch. So maybe if we feel this one, the purple flower, it's very soft. The orange one, very, very soft. You can almost see it's really, really soft. And then here our white one is very interesting because it's so soft that we almost stay on the outside. Okay? So see, smell, touch, taste, which we're going to skip for now because we probably shouldn't be tasting flowers outside. See, and then lastly here, let's see if we hear anything from our flowers. Hello. Hello. No hearing at all. But if we are just doing general observations from being outside, of course right now we might be able to hear some cars. We might also be able to hear birds. Okay, so as botanists outside, this is a really interesting way for us to make observations. And for part 2 today, we are going to be zoologists. So I have a very special pet with me today. This is Lucy, my family's pet dog from home. Let's start with our first sense, sight. So if we look at her, we can see that she's brown and white. She has splotches all over, and maybe she has very long ears, a very long tail, and a very long nose. Okay, so maybe in total, maybe almost like a meter all the way down. Okay, if we think about her touch, she's very, very soft, probably because she has all of this fur. If we think about smell, let's smell. She kind of smells like she's been rolling around in the grass outside. Yes, you have, probably, right? If we think about taste, we obviously can't taste Lucy. If I did lick her, I feel like she would probably have a lot of hair, so I think that's my hypothesis for that. And whenever we hear her, she does a lot of, let me see, let's listen. Lucy, Lucy. I think she's doing a lot of heavy breathing. She seems very excited to go run around and play. She also barks a lot normally. So anyway, thank you, Lucy, for being our zoologist pet today, okay? So now remember, there are two types of observations that you can make. There is qualitative observations and quantitative observations. So qualitative is when you describe what you see. So for example, you say the tree is brown, it has many leaves on it, maybe the ground looks very dry. If you say something that is a quantitative observation, it has to do with numbers. So if you say, this tree is 40 meters high, or I see 150 leaves on this tree, or I can see 3 birds with my eyes, those are all qualitative observations. So when you do observations, it's important to be both qualitative and quantitative. Okay, so we already talked about observations, things that we can see, hear, touch, taste, or smell right in front of us. But now we're going to talk about inferences. So inferences are not things that you can observe directly, but it's something like a guess that you make based off your observations about science. So here I can see that there are many different ants crawling around. So I can see that they're brown. Most of these are very small, so maybe like only 1/4 of a centimeter, but some of them are very big. So that one is probably like at least 1 centimeter, if not 2. Now here you can see is some sweet donut that I've put all over the ground. And we know that donuts are very sweet, they're very sticky. As you can see, I can observe the ants going to the donut and trying to eat it. Now, one inference or guess that I can make about science based on my observation is that ants like sweet things. Now, I can't just observe this. I can't necessarily ask them, excuse me, Mr. Ant, do you like to eat sweet donuts? They're probably not going to be able to tell you. But the fact that I know that ants like to eat certain types of foods, or I can see the ant eating this donut right now, and the fact that I know that donuts are very sweet means that ants probably like to eat sweet food. So that's an inference that I can make about science based off my observations.